Hi, everybody. Today is an exciting day at Do It with Passion. As you all know, we are highlighting our amazing volunteers who come and help us in all different programs. And the person I have invited today is one of them. And I am extremely excited she's here. I'm going to let her introduce herself. And again, my name is Alexa. I am the Senior Director of Capstone Programs. I've been forgetting this part, so I need to make sure that I address it. And because I want to highlight the people who we invite. We definitely could not do what we do without the help of these incredible people. And today we have a very special person. Hi, Gerri.
Hi, how are you?
Good, thank you. Do you mind introducing yourself and telling us a little bit about what you do?
Sure. So my name is Gerri Sapinoso Hudson. I am a mom of 4 kids. That's how I met Junior Achievement and got involved with them. Professionally speaking, I primarily have worked in marketing in the past, mostly in corporate jobs, but also as an entrepreneur. And now I'm currently working as a professional leadership coach, specializing in emotional intelligence training and really working on those skills that help to develop great leaders.
Well, it's funny because I think we met probably around maybe 3 years ago, 4. I don't even remember. It was quite a few years ago, and it was when you were working at MasterCard.
Right.
And we were trying to figure out ways in which we could hopefully get some teams from MasterCard to come and volunteer.
Mm-hmm.
You, I think, had just been through either BizTown or Finance Park with one of your kids, and it was an experience that really impacted you. So I know we started talking, and there were you live in Hollywood, I live in Hollywood.
Yeah.
And so I think it's so special that after all these years, obviously changes in jobs, changes in family, because I didn't have a son when I first met you.
Right.
And now I have Miles. And so we started talking about schools, and I know you're so into the Montessori program. So I love and enjoy working and learning from you. And thank you so much for being here, because highlighting you guys is something that we need to do on a daily basis. And so this way we can have something where hopefully we can keep on growing, because there's a lot of opportunities for us. So tell me a little bit about your experience when you went through BizTown and Finance Park with your kids. What did you think, and what kind of impact did it leave on you as a volunteer?
Yes. So I started out as a parent volunteer originally, way back when my oldest son, who's now in college, was going through BizTown. And I really found it to be a fascinating experience for the kids, just the whole simulation of real life in a real town, having jobs. And as a Montessori parent, it really ties in so much with the value of teaching children practical life skills. And financial literacy, of course, is a very important practical life skill. So I was fascinated and fell in love with the program. I love how it's done. They make it fun for the kids. You actually get to observe. If you watch the children, you can see certain jobs carry a lot more stress than others. Some people are so into their roles, they love their jobs, and others are finding, oh, I don't really love my job that much. And so it's just
real world, right?
Really,
some of us love it, some of us don't.
Absolutely, absolutely. So that was kind of the beginning. And so I committed to participating as a parent volunteer with each of my children. And so I went through it 3 times as a parent volunteer. And the last one was when my youngest went through. And I was working at MasterCard at the time. And so after that, I said, oh, I would love to be able to do this through MasterCard now, to try to see if we can bring other people to participate. And that was the beginning of how we met. And eventually, even when I left MasterCard, when we got back in touch, then I called again, because I believe so much in the program. Even though my children had already gone through it, I realized there's so many children out there who, thankfully, because of you guys in Broward County Public Schools, that go through the program, but they don't have the blessing of having parents there that day. And so as a parent who had extra bandwidth, I thought, well, let me see if I can help other parents out by being there for their children.
And I can't tell you how much of an impact that makes for our students, because 70% of the schools from Broward County that come to JA and BizTown and Finance Park, they don't have a lot of parent support. So it is a struggle for us because parents are working 2 to 3 jobs.
Right.
You know, kids are they're basically staying maybe with grandparents because their parents are, you know, have a lot on their plates. So there's a lot of different situations, and that's why volunteers are so important. I mean, we definitely could not run the program without the help of volunteers. So when we were able to talk a little bit more and see the different ways in which you could become a part of our team, I kind of pushed you a little bit. And we were talking, and of course you had been doing business in Finance Park again, and there was an opportunity at the school where your kids went, where you could actually help the 8th graders from Beachside go through their program when they were going through Fellows, which is our program where students create a business, they have a business plan, and they basically learn everything that has to go with that program for 18 full weeks. So you jumped in. I believe we lost our volunteer who was an amazing Jeff Spiro. He's incredible, but he had a lot on his plate, so he wasn't able to go to the school once a week and help the students out. And it wasn't even something that I think we were having a casual conversation, because I was talking to you about hopefully having you help us facilitate for our team, since you're doing something so amazing now that we can talk a little bit later about. And I asked you if maybe you would want to help out, because that volunteer had not been able to help those students, and it's the only 8th grade program that's doing the Fellows program, which is incredible. And you said yes without even thinking twice about it. So I cannot thank you enough, because tell me a little bit about your experience. I know that obviously they have a lot of things set up and they were doing so great, but having you jump in with that marketing background was incredible to watch.
Of course, I didn't hesitate. I mean, that Beachside has been our home for almost 10 years now. So I was delighted to be able to jump in, and particularly because I recognize not only do I know the school, do I know some of these children, but I also have the appropriate background, having been an entrepreneur, having been in product, run a product business, and have a background in marketing, to really help facilitate them at kind of the last phase where they're putting together their commercial and their annual report and presenting and selling. And so I was just delighted to come in. And these kids, they did everything. You know, I mean, I just showed up to help them see within themselves the incredible talent and skills and leadership and thinking that they have within them. It was just really a matter of meeting them wherever they were. They had already accomplished so much through a lot of hard work, coming up with a business idea. It was just really a matter of meeting them where they had arrived and where they were, and just inspiring them to take it forward, you know, to challenge themselves again in a slightly different way, to just bring it over the finish line. And I'm so proud of these kids and delighted at them making the finals.
That's what I was going to say.
I'm so proud of these kids.
Top 7, that's great. And I just want to let everybody know who's watching, we had our, they basically selected 7 of these schools that create these companies, and Beachside was the only one, again, with 8th graders, and so they actually were top 7. So now it's more work for you guys trying to prepare, because how is it with the whole virtual change? Has it been a little bit different? How have the students been able to manage okay?
Yeah, I mean, I've traded some messages with Mrs. Roman and spoken with her on the phone, and it has been certainly challenging in the virtual environment. And remember, it was very early on in distance learning that they had to kind of finish everything and turn in everything by the deadline of April 3rd. And so they just really stepped it up, these kids, you know, just on their own, and brought themselves together and pushed themselves to get it done. And the quality of their work was excellent. I mean, excuse me,
It's okay.
I just have to say that communication was really the only part where I felt like I needed to help them shine more and dig deep within themselves to communicate what was happening with them, to take that responsibility to speak up, to talk to their leaders, to talk with their managers, to speak their minds. And, you know, it really is reflected in how well they were able to work, I think, particularly in this kind of learning environment where you don't see each other every day. You have to take initiative. You have to be willing to listen. The challenges with doing things virtually, as you know, it's a little bit more difficult. It's a different dynamic. And so to be able to adapt to that, I think was a very important skill for them to learn.
Can you imagine them going through this now, how much it's going to prepare for the future? I and we have these incredibly bright students, and I must highlight, I mean, Sherry and Miss Roman. Those are two superstars who have kept this team running, who have taken it upon themselves to make sure that the students are motivated, encouraged, that they understand the importance of why they need to learn this program so that they can be successful in the future. And I cannot thank you enough for your hard work, for just jumping in midway and saying yes to me without really knowing what you were getting yourself into. For your help, obviously, you know, helping not just your students go through the RJA programs, but helping so many other students who I cannot tell you how much of an impact you made on their life. And they will remember you forever, even though you might not realize it. And I know you're humble, and I know that you're probably going to say, oh, I was just there they did it all. But if you aren't there to be able to support them, it's not the same. I actually had an interview yesterday with a mom and a daughter who went through BizTown, and we were talking about how much of an impact it makes if the volunteers wouldn't be there. And we wouldn't be able to literally run the facility without them. So you jumping in and helping those schools that have such a high need, it's just something that my heart can't explain how much I appreciate. I feel like we're besties now. I am excited to see everything that you do in your future. I know that now you're working for something that's called, it's a program. Could you tell us a little bit about Search Inside Yourself? Because I think that fascinates anyone who hears about it.
Sure. I really am just so proud to be part of the organization called Search Inside Yourself Leadership Institute. They have a program that I'm currently being certified. I'm in the process of becoming certified to teach. And it is an emotional intelligence-based leadership program. Its foundations are in mindfulness. That's the framework. But really, it shows us and demonstrates and allows a person to build a personal practice around these emotional intelligence skills in order for them to facilitate not just basic stress reduction, having a healthier workplace, but also things like leadership, creativity, innovation, collaboration, all the things that we really need in this more kind of talking about practical life skills again, for adults, not just children. So these are, in the past, emotional intelligence was considered to be something that was either present or was not. It was just innate. You were born with it or you didn't have it. But a lot of the science has shown now, and it's a lot based in neuroscience, that the brain actually can be trained. And so through Search Inside Yourself Leadership Institute, I'm really proud to be offering this Search Inside Yourself program in order to help organizations really cultivate a culture of great leadership, innovation, collaboration, and general well-being.
Well, that inspires me, and I can't wait to learn from you. And I want to thank you for your time today. You're going to be the most amazing facilitator. You already are. We really hope we can be your guinea pigs. And like we see now, so many people are struggling with mental health. And I think that that's one of the things that we have forgotten a little bit about. And we all can realize that the stronger our minds are, the better we'll be able to react in situations like these. And your kids are very lucky to have you as their mom. We are very lucky to have you on our team. And I just want to thank you. Happy National Volunteer Month.
Thank you. Thank you.
I look forward to everything else we'll do together. And I hope that you stay safe. I hope you get better. I know you have a little bit of a cough. But I wanted to just thank you because you just said yes when I asked you to come on here and share a little bit about your experience. And I can't wait to see you and give you a hug.
Yes, I know. Me too. Me too. Thank you so much for having me. And it's a pleasure to work with you and JA. I have just had the best experience. It really does make a difference when you're volunteering to show up and be greeted and just welcomed with open arms. And you guys at JA of South Florida really, really make a nice environment for volunteers to come into. So thank you.
Thank you so much. Take care, and we'll see each other soon, okay?
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.